Welcome back to our presentation, How Much Should I Buy? In this segment, we'll talk about determining your beginning inventory figures. But first, we'll take a little review, and we'll look back that open-to-buy planning is the only real answer to the question, how much should I buy? We talked about the fact that you'll see nothing but benefits from using open-to-buy planning, and that any retailer who buys and resells merchandise needs to have open-to-buy planning in order to do it right. We work by these rules, which we've gone over, in order to keep the process dealing apples to apples and moving ahead. The open-to-buy process is divided into two halves. We began talking about the setup last segment, identifying your departments. We showed you a list of departments to indicate that we don't get down to the item or vendor level, but we want to be defined enough so that you have good information when you go out into the marketplace. And then we need to project a 12-month sales plan in each merchandise category for the next 12 months. And we showed you how to do that using percentages or past history. Next, you need to establish turn rates, and we talked about that, how turn will benefit you and how markdowns don't. In our example, we came up with a turn of 4 times, and we're going to be using that as we go ahead and calculate ideal beginning inventory levels. Now, the first thing you need to come up with is an inventory factor, and that is nothing more than the number 12 for 12 months divided by your turn rate. In this case, our turn rate is 4. We divide that into 12, and we get an inventory factor, which some people call a stock-to-sales ratio, of 3. And what that means is that you need 3 months' worth of sales in inventory in order to support 1 month's worth of sales at a 4-time turn rate. Now, let me give you some numbers to back that up. When we did our sales projection, I indicated that we would be utilizing August, September, and October sales in order to calculate ideal beginning inventory levels. But when you set up your open-to-buy plan, you will use all 12 months. So what we did was we took August, which was $6,000, September $10,000, and October $8,000. You multiply that times your inventory factor, and these are all retail dollars, to determine your ideal beginning inventory level. So what this means is that in August, you need to begin the month with $18,000 worth of merchandise in order to support $6,000 worth of sales at a 4-time turn rate. In September, you need $30,000 to support $10,000 worth of sales at a 4-time turn rate, and on and on. And like I said, you would calculate this out for 12 months in each department, and then once you have your ideal beginning inventory levels, at the time you're about to jump into your open-to-buy system, you need to determine your current inventory. And you can do that if you have a point of sale by checking with your point of sale, which should keep a perpetual inventory at all times. If you don't have a point of sale or you haven't been keeping track in your point of sale, you can take a physical inventory, which is not as difficult as it sounds, because for the purposes of open-to-buy, we're looking for a retail dollar inventory by department, not item by item, SKU by SKU. If you don't have the time or the inclination to do a physical inventory, then make a guesstimate. Your guesstimate will be a lot closer than you think because you're there in the store, and having an open-to-buy plan with numbers that are not 100% accurate is a lot better than not having an open-to-buy plan. So just dive in and do the best you can, because you can update your inventory figures at any time. At the end of every month, there's an analysis giving you the opportunity to revise your sales figures at any time. So just get underway. Once you compare your current inventory with your ideal inventory, you'll immediately see where you're understocked or overstocked. And with that information, you will be seeing the first benefit of setting up your open-to-buy plan, and that's to analyze your current inventory. Many retailers have never even taken a hard look at their inventory, and this is an excellent opportunity. Once you do that, we want you to take action to bring your inventory into line. And there's 3 areas of merchandise that you have to deal with. You have good sellers, items that are still selling very well. They excite your help, they excite your customers, and they're moving out of the store, but you just have too much. In those cases, you might attempt to talk to your manufacturer or rep and see if some of that merchandise cannot be moved to a non-competing retailer selling the same products, but chances are that's not going to happen. So you're just going to continue selling through that merchandise for as long as you can at full price, knowing that your open-to-buy system will keep you from buying more in those departments until you bring yourself into line. The second area of merchandise that you can deal with are the slow sellers, merchandise that has kind of lost interest not only for your help but for your customers, and has slowed down dramatically in terms of its sale rate. And in those cases, you may want to consider some markdowns. Now, I speak out against markdowns, but sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and clean up your act and get your stock in order. And not only will blowing this merchandise out create a cash flow in, and that's money that does not need to go back into inventory. It can go for other uses. It can go back into your checking account and be used for advertising or display or upgrading your sales help or opening another store. There's all kinds of things you can do with that money besides putting it back into inventory. In addition, you will know, because you're using an open-to-buy system, that that situation will not occur. That's sort of a one-time sale. And finally, there's merchandise that has become family. Every day you come in with your coffee and you say, where shall we put you today to make you look new and exciting and vibrant? And I'm here to tell you, folks, it ain't going to happen. The price tickets are already bloodied with the red lines going through the ever-lowering prices on that merchandise, and it's still there. And as painfully aware of that merchandise as you are, so are your customers. And every time they come into your store and see that merchandise sitting there, it literally gives you a fashion black eye, and that's not what you want. So if you really like that merchandise, take it home and put it on your dining room table. But if you don't want to do that, you can try to sell it on eBay. You can call in a jobber and sell it for next to nothing, but next to nothing is something, and then you can write off the balance, or you can just donate it to charity. One way or the other, you need to get it out of your store. And remember that when you turn that inventory into cash, as I said earlier, it's excess inventory, and that money does not need to go back into future inventory. In the next session, we're going to start talking about the second half of the system, the monthly figures. Calculating your open-to-buy will be our first stop, and in the meantime, we hope you'll check our website or give me a call. Thanks again for viewing.